Stepdad favored his sons over me and banned me from family dinners, saying I am not his family, so I planned a family trip and banned them from it, and Mom finally woke up and kicked him out after divorcing him. I'm a 19-year-old female, and I've reached my wit's end with my mom's new husband, Steve. He had the audacity to ban me from my mom's birthday celebration, saying he had planned it only for the family. For him, family meant him and his daughter, Emily, leaving me and my brother behind. My brother was out of town, so I was the only one left out of this family dinner. My mom married this toxic man when I was 14. My father had died when my brother and I were kids 10 and 8, respectively. So growing up, it was just the three of us, Mom, my brother, and me. We used to have a great time together. Yes, money was tight, but we felt loved and secure. Maybe Mom was lonely, that's why, 6 years later, she fell for this garbage of a man. This wasn't the first time Steve had been mean to me. There were a series of instances. Even when Mom introduced me and my brother to Steve for the first time, he hugged my brother and said he completed the family, but to me, he just smiled. It made me feel unwanted. Since then, it has been a constant struggle to connect with him. My brother seemed to get along fine with him, probably because he moved out soon after the marriage. Steve has always had it out for me. Initially, I ignored it, thinking we would eventually get along. Yet even after years, his toxic behavior continued. We were still adjusting to Steve's presence in the house when he introduced Emily, his daughter. She's older than my brother and me and turned out to be a spoiled brat. She would shower my mom with saccharine sweetness but treat me with utter disdain, speaking to me as if I were beneath her. Whenever I tried to stand up for myself, Steve would swoop in, lecturing me on the need for discipline and accusing me of being rude. It was a double standard that left me seething. Emily could do no wrong, while I was always in the wrong. The injustice of it all was infuriating. Emily was straight up jealous of me because I was excelling academically while she was struggling to find a job and living off her dad's money. Meanwhile, my brother and I were hustling to take care of ourselves financially. He was tutoring kids, and I was working in a supermarket during my free time. We didn't want to burden our mom with extra expenses since she was already doing so much for us. But this created a super weird dynamic where Steve was low-key okay, but high-key jealous that we were doing something with our lives while he and Emily were doing nothing. He especially hated me for being an envious little man. Mom didn't neglect us, but her attention was definitely divided. We didn't make a fuss since she was finally happy, but sometimes I felt like an outsider in my own family. Steve never bothered to include me in anything, and it was weird. He always claimed my brother as his son but never introduced me as his daughter. I got it, Emily was his biological kid, but that didn't mean I wasn't part of the family. It wasn't Emily I had a problem with, it was Steve's shady behavior towards me that was the real issue. I also noticed Steve had some major issues. The dude was a heavy drinker and a stoner. I had no idea what my mom saw in him, really. He was just a hot mess. When Emily was 21, Mom asked her to find at least a part-time job so she wouldn't have to rely on Mom for her expenses. This made Steve super mad, but he eventually agreed. It was just too much for Mom to bear. Steve didn't have a stable job and was just hopping from one to another. Thank God Emily landed a job, so I didn't have to deal with her drama every day. Still, she and her toxic dad would come up with something to ruin my day. Whether it was about my weight gain or my acne, Steve and Emily would always make fun of me. Yeah, Emily is beautiful with a perfect figure, and I'm chubby. So what? That doesn't give them the right to comment on it. It crossed all levels of toxicity. On my mom's 50th birthday, I baked her favorite cake. Emily and Steve also joined in. Steve pulled off the ultimate manipulation move. He and Emily organized a surprise dinner for my mom, of which I had no idea. In the evening, I logged off early from my part-time job to take Mom out for dinner. But before that, Mom called me asking me to join them. I went there to find a tense atmosphere. I asked what happened, but no one said anything. Everyone ate in silence. After a while, Mom went to use the bathroom. Steve unleashed his anger upon me, asking, "Why are you here? Don't you understand? We wanted to have family time." I said, "Mom asked me to come. And by the way, am I not family?" He replied, Yeah, whatever. Do you realize how selfish and demanding you are? Can't she have one peaceful evening by herself?" I was puzzled by his words. I mean, I wasn't interrupting his couple time. Emily was there too, so why did I have to face his wrath? I fought back. "You and Emily are family to her, but not I, her biological daughter." Emily interrupted, "We want to have some quality time with Mom, so could you please leave?" I realized why everyone felt so awkward when I arrived. Mom must have fought with him to have me at the table. I was on the verge of tears, but I didn't cry. I swallowed my pride and left, feeling angry and humiliated. I didn't want to ruin my mom's day. Later that night, Mom asked me why I left midway. I said I wasn't feeling well. I wanted to cry and tell her what happened, but I'm just done complaining about Steve and Emily. Whenever I tell on them, she goes and fights with them, and then after a while, he wins her over, and things go back to normal. I don't expect her to divorce him. Maybe I secretly want that. But she could at least draw a boundary with him, so this time I just remained silent. However, I feel very envious. I'm hurt. I want to do something to make them pay. Or maybe I just want to leave this house for my own good. I'm awaiting my college admission, and then I would be gone from here. I don't know why I'm writing this. I don't think there's anything I can do except suck it up. You can click on share and more to see if there is a part 2.